Hello?
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Hey, Julie, I can hear you. I'm not sure. I think that we're good. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm not sure if you did the introduction or not, Julie, but we're running a little bit behind here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and take the controls. Sorry, we must have had a little bit of technical difficulties there.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I actually just I didn't see anybody having a problem, so hopefully you all heard the intro, but I'm just going to turn it over to Carrie so we can get started.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, thank you all for joining us today. This webinar is going to be a quick 30 minutes, which is just to give you guys some tips and guidelines to really help you get some sponsorships for your fundraising events. And I've been working on sponsorships and event marketing for 14 years, so hopefully my experience will help you out here. What we're going to talk about today is really some things to help you prepare and deliver on your sponsorships. I'm going to outline some key benefits and opportunities to help you identify which sponsors and which prospects you're going to reach out to come on board and sponsor your fundraising event. We're going to talk about how to create benefit packages and or sponsorship levels. And then we're going to talk about how to foster long-term sponsor relationships, really to go ahead and get these people on board, hopefully year after year for your fundraising event. So the thing that companies are interested in is branding and awareness. They want to get their name out there. They want to build recognition within the local community by displaying their logo on banners, event collateral, even showing presence on site. This is a huge an example of this is NASCAR. I mean, look at all the cars racing around the track and just having a logo on those cars. Those companies are really sponsoring that event because they're looking to get awareness of their brand. And you can do that, of course, on a much smaller scale within your community. Target marketing. This is very appealing for companies that are trying to reach a specific demographic. So if you have an event, for example, a wine and jazz festival that you know will be drawing in affluent members of your community, this provides a great opportunity for you to reach out to companies that you know are targeting that specific type of market. A promotional tie-in. Companies are often looking to use fundraising events as a great way to launch a promotion. This could be very ideal for a local retailer or restaurant to use coupons if they want to drive traffic back to their store by offering 2-for-1s or any sort of discounts. This is really a great way for companies that are trying to promote. Push out a promotional tie-in. And entertainment, don't underestimate the importance of entertainment for companies. Some companies, especially professional services, they look for sponsorship opportunities purely as a way to entertain their clients or their loyal customers. So events that offer VIP hospitality suites and things like that are great venues in order to approach companies that might be interested in entertainment from their sponsorship reasons. Lead generation. Some companies may be looking to build their database. Perhaps they're launching a new website or pushing out some promotions through e-commerce. A fundraising event can really help provide them with an opportunity to offer sign-up incentives. They could offer contests at their booth or encourage people to register, which will really help them build on that database so they can reach out to their market again in the future. Product sales and displays. Some companies really use events to sell. A great example of this is when I was marketing director for a sustainable apparel company. we offered clothing for yoga and mats and different things like that for people who like to practice yoga and who really supported a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. So we sponsored yoga conferences. This was a really great opportunity for us to actually sell our product, the yoga mats and apparel, for people that were actually practicing at these conferences. Similar to that, product trials and sampling. We often, found ourselves at the same events as companies like Cliff Bar. Now, of course, you can't really sample apparel, but for a company that offers a food and beverage, events provide a great opportunity for them to test new products. They can give out little bite-sized samples to try out new flavors and really get feedback prior to going to market. And then, of course, public relations, that's a big reason as well, just for people to be seen in the community and, really showing their goodwill for supporting a cause. So now that you know why companies do sponsor events, let's look and see what your event has to offer. What are you trying to accomplish? You really need to jot down what your goals are, both financially, how much are you trying to raise, and also, is there a target audience? Are you really trying to gain awareness of your cause and what your organization does? Look at what the expected attendance is going to be and the exposure that your event will provide for sponsors. This is very appealing for them to come on board for an event if they're going to be able to reach thousands of people within your community. And then what additional programs are you doing? What other types of outreach will they gain exposure through? Are you going to be running ads? Do you plan on distributing press releases where you'll be mentioning sponsors? Will you be doing any database marketing? Do you have email lists you'll be promoting the event through? Do you have social networking, a strategy there to reach out through Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn? And then for community goodwill, the same thing goes. If your event is really promoting the development of a good cause, companies like to be involved with that. So now let's look at how we're going to identify prospects. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and identify companies that have like-minded brands, really people that are going to fit into your event based on your goals and event benefits. And then research some different opportunities. What companies are right now looking to gain exposure in your community? Perhaps there's companies that are undergoing change, doing a lot of hiring or layoffs, and they want to engage with the community to really help communicate what's going on with their business. Or perhaps there's even something going on in your town. Maybe there's another large event coming. Maybe the circus is coming to town, and they want to start gaining exposure. And if your event precedes a larger event, as silly as it may seem, sometimes events look for other events to promote their cause. And then look at what companies are sponsoring other events. Perhaps they're interested in yours. If you see that a company is frequently showing up in ads promoting other types of community engagement, it looks like that might be a strategy that they really support. So one other thing that I wanted to mention is, you don't have to feel like you need to limit yourself to small local businesses. You may want to reach out to larger corporate offices, but do keep in mind that, sometimes you might have to deal with their regional offices or even go to corporate to get support. And a very important part of identifying prospects is utilizing your network. You want to reach out to everybody who's associated with your group, employees, board members. If you're doing a school fundraiser, reach out to parents. Every one of the children's parents, they're working in different companies and have access to a variety of influential people in your community. Look to committees, maybe the PTO groups or other people who are really supporting, and volunteers who tend to contribute to your school or your organization. And then do not dismiss media. Media partnerships can be absolutely great for fundraising events. They really look to connect with their community. Radio stations want listeners. Newspapers want readers. So give them a chance to engage directly with their community by sponsoring your event. You want to include event offerings. What is your event all about? And not just on-site the day of the event, but ancillary events, pre and post activities, what other sponsors are on board, what engagements those sponsors have, and that includes all of the outreach programs. If sponsors are going to be promoting their event through their database and through their social networking channels, bring in all of these different metrics and put those down on a list, because every bit of exposure that you get from all of your partners is very important for really appealing to potential sponsors. And look at previous metrics. What have you done in the past? Event photos are very important, showing engagement of actual attendees on site. Include quotes of previous sponsors or event attendees. And metrics. Did you accomplish your goals in the past? And what are your plans for the future? Clearly outline both benefits and obligations. Remember, this is not just you providing benefits to a sponsor. This is a partnership. It's not a one-way gift. The sponsor owes you some things too. In addition to financially contributing by investing, a small fee, they also owe you creative materials. You need to make sure they can deliver their logo so that you actually have everything you need when you're creating your ads and your promotional collateral. Creative guidelines. You need a lead person that will be available to give approvals, and you also want assistance promoting the event. Ask them to also help you by reaching out to their audience as well. And don't forget to ask what's important to them. If one thing far outweighs another benefit, feel free to change those and customize those a little bit from one sponsor to the next. Which brings us into the next point, is really looking at whether you're going to do sponsor levels or custom packages. Sponsor levels are developing packages based on a tiered system. So for example, you have a gold, silver, and a bronze sponsorship. Companies either invest $10,000 for this premium sponsorship level, or as you can see, $5,000 or $1,000. Based on what their financial commitment is, they get different benefits. So you can see that all three sponsors get a link on the website and an email blast. They all get included in promotional materials. However, a bronze only gets their logo included. A silver sponsor gets a half-page ad, and a gold sponsor gets a full-page ad. And then as you can see, the gold sponsors end up having, at the end of the day, quite a few more benefits than these smaller level sponsors. The benefits create this pitch for each individual company. So if you can have something like this, it really doesn't limit you, and it can also help you streamline sponsor fulfillment. You know exactly what each tiered level receives, so you can basically create a checklist which you can easily cross off and say, okay, all of our gold sponsors received all of these items, where if you have customized packages, each benefit list of benefits might be completely different from one company to the next. And this could also allow you to do an online sponsor registration. Put down the 3 tiered levels, and people can come in, pick which package they like, click select, and do their online fulfillment and everything right there. So it really just streamlines the process. However, I prefer customized sponsor packages, and this is something that I've been doing this for a really long time, and I really feel like this is a great way to really make companies feel like they're different. So when you're creating custom sponsor packages, you're really developing unique opportunities for each business. An example would be a Kid Zone sponsor. So I worked for Larimer Arts Association. It's a nonprofit downtown Denver that was dedicated to bringing arts and culture to the community. One of the events we hosted was a large Oktoberfest. For this event, we created a unique opportunity for every business that we pitched. We had a beer tent sponsor, we had a silent auction sponsor, a VIP event sponsor, and a Kid Zone sponsor. For this specific example, what I really liked about this is the Kid Zone sponsor opened up the idea of a beer festival to families. We set up a dedicated area within the event that really appealed to this demographic. We brought in bouncy houses, arts and crafts, story time activities, and it was a really great way to include everyone in the community. And we were also able to offer this to one exclusive sponsor, and they would be the only sponsor that would receive signage in that area, access to people who were involved in those activities specifically, and it was a really great opportunity for like family restaurants or maybe a local independent toy shop or companies like that. So just to reiterate, the benefits of custom packages is it really allows you to target individual businesses with unique offers. And it also provides the opportunity for exclusivity. This type of offering really helps you show your dedication and your attention to detail. You're paying attention to what each of the individual business needs, and then you're creating a customized package to provide a truly unique opportunity for them at your event. These packages don't feel off the shelf like a tiered sponsor level might. And it also creates a lot of variety at your event. You can have a sponsor for your activity center, you can have a stage sponsor, a food and beverage sponsor, a Kid Zone sponsor, an art gallery sponsor. So you can see it really creates a number of different experiences at your event. Here. What is the money going to go towards? What is your cause? Really make sure to consistently communicate this. Another way to be true to your organization is to partner with like-minded brands. Another example of this is with the apparel company that I worked for that really supported sustainability. We did a brand new store opening in a new market, and we partnered with the local Whole Foods, a very like-minded brand that appealed to the audience that was concerned with health and wellness and organic products and things like that. So just remember that the companies that you bring on board are also a reflection of your own organization. Feel free to offer educational booths and experts on site. Bring people and set up an area where they can increase awareness about what your cause is. For example, a company that is raising funds and hosting an event to increase awareness of breast cancer. They may have an expert on site that talks about breast cancer prevention and hands out flyers, and maybe include some kind of interesting facts and myths in your messaging, and maybe make these announcements on stage between acts, or just really try to integrate your message over and over throughout your event. And feel free to host themed events. Look at what, to create different fun ideas that really coincide with what your mission is. Again, going back to Larimer Arts Association and the Oktoberfest event that we hosted, instead of just hosting a silent auction with a number of different donated things, we decided let's really take this Irish heritage, and therefore we imported beautiful handmade steins, the large drinking cups. We imported them from Ireland, and then we found celebrities to autograph them, and we had a celebrity stein auction, which was a really fun way to raise some additional money while integrating the Irish culture behind the Oktoberfest event. So with that in mind, just remember that everything is up for grabs. There are so many different opportunities for sponsors at your event. You could do a ticket back sponsors. If this is an event that people need a ticket to get into, this is a great opportunity again for restaurants or local retailers that might want to put a coupon on the back so people can redeem their coupons at a later date by coming back into the store and really driving traffic back to that sponsor's location. You can have a VIP event sponsor. This would be something really great for a gallery or kind of an upscale place that wants to get a museum that wants to get some exposure, a really fine dining establishment that's recently opening and wants to be able to showcase their location and their food to the influential people in your community that are attending the VIP event. Food and beverage sponsors. These are great for helping you save some money. Don't forget that, everything is open here, from vendor sponsorships, trade sponsors, and food and beverage. Cutting costs is just as important as raising additional funds. They all impact your bottom line. So if you have people that can offer you discounted prices on the food or beverage that you'll be selling at your event, or a tent sponsor that might offer you some free tents to place around the event in addition for some exposure with their logo on collateral or mentions in media relations, all of these different things can really help you save money as well. With trade sponsors, a great example of that is this was one of our biggest strategies for a company that I worked with that ran Renaissance festivals all around the Midwest in 5 different markets. And one of the best ways for us to gain exposure for the upcoming Renaissance festivals was to do trade sponsorships with various radio stations. And in exchange for tickets, we would basically just provide them with tickets and they would do free mentions and giveaways online. It was basically a great way for us to get the word out there with just providing some tickets that were going to drive traffic to our event and really get free advertising. And that brings us to the next line, which is media sponsors. And, again, media love engaging with the community, giving them on-site booth presence, possibly letting a radio station do a live remote at your event where they send a DJ out and can really talk directly to the community, allowing newspapers to distribute copies of their paper on site and have them being the only exclusive media sponsor. All of these things are very appealing, and they can get you free advertising to help you really spread the word about your upcoming event. And be creative. Again, if you're in a company that is supporting environmental conservation and you have recycling bins around your event, bring on a like-minded brand to be a recycling bin sponsor and have the recycling bins wrapped with their logos and really give them recognition for helping to contribute to make the world a greener place. You can have stage sponsors, people that sponsor, different types of entertainment and performances, parking sponsors. If you're doing a walkathon event, why not have a pit stop sponsor, and if there's a spot where people can stop and take a break, have a furniture store, deliver some recliners for participants to sit down and have a drink of water, and really create kind of a fun, unique opportunity for them. Or even doing participant tags for walkathons. This would be another great branding opportunity to just place a logo on every participant tag with all the numbers for all the runners or walkers in your event. Build programs to benefit their needs. Find out what's important to them. Pay attention to these details and over-deliver. Make sure you fulfill on all of the required obligations. If you have in your list that they get a logo in their ads and they get 2 mentions with the radio advertising you're doing, and that the band that's performing at your event needs to thank sponsors and mention them, you better make sure that you fulfill all of those things. You do not want to underdeliver. That's a really good way to get people not to come back in the future. Make sure you get their approvals if that's part of their contract. A lot of companies are very concerned with what their logo is on. It affects their brand. So make sure you run advertisements and collateral by them before you go to print. And then get feedback. Distribute surveys or talk to them and find out what they liked and what you could have done better. And of course, the evident. Don't forget to say thank you again and again, letters at the end of the event, and make sure to recognize them during the event too by thanking sponsors for being able to help you produce such a great event. And first right of refusal, this is a great way to just say, hey, thank you for coming on board this year. Before we ask anyone else to do this sponsorship next year, we want to give you the first right of refusal. We'd love to have you come back and do our VIP event again year after year, and that really makes them feel like they've been identified as a special partner, and that they'll be able to have the right to turn that down before you're going to just offer that to a different company in the future. So in summary, you need to find out what the benefits of your event are. List everything down, and based on what your event has to offer, identify your prospects. Remember to utilize your network and look at what other companies are doing in the community. Then determine if you want to do some sponsor levels based on a tiered sponsorship agreement, or if you're going to create unique custom packages and target individual businesses. And then over-deliver. Make sure that you fulfill your obligations and make sure that they are happy. Don't forget to say thank you, and then do not forget to send sponsor recap reports. This is similar to the pitch that you did up front, where you include event photos and did you meet your goals, and include examples of everything that your sponsors were included in. If they were included in advertisements, signage, make sure you have pictures and tear-outs from the newspapers where they were included, just so that they have a really full report and idea of how successful the event is, so that they can use these recap reports to help them make their decision to come back on board again in the future. So you can all get back to your busy days at work. So please feel free to email marketing@dojiggy.com with any questions. I will be answering these emails directly, and I promise I'll get back to you within 24 hours. If you'd like more information about DoJiggy, please feel free to visit the website at dojiggy.com. And DoJiggy does provide online fundraising software to really help nonprofits and community organizations be more efficient in planning and managing their fundraising events. We'd love to have you check the company out, and feel free to let us know if you'd like any more information. We've also listed a phone number on there, and I will be sending all of you a follow-up email. There will be a special offer included exclusively for webinar attendees, so watch for that coming in your inbox. And thanks again. I really appreciate all of you coming today.